I speak to you this morning as the Prime Minister of a country that faces the future with confidence. For a little over 6 months ago, millions of my fellow citizens upset the odds by voting with determination and quiet resolve to leave the European Union and embrace the world. Let us not underestimate the magnitude of that decision. It means Britain must face up to a period of momentous change. It means we must go through a tough negotiation and forge a new role for ourselves in the world. It means accepting that the road ahead will be uncertain at times, but believing that it leads towards a brighter future for our country's children and grandchildren too. So while it would have been easy for the British people to shy away from taking such a path, they fixed their eyes on that brighter future and chose a bold, ambitious course instead. They chose to build a truly global Britain. I know that this and the other reasons Britain took such a decision is not always well understood internationally, particularly among our friends and allies in Europe. Some of our European partners feel we've turned our back on them, and I know many fear what our decision means for the future of the EU itself. But as I said in my speech earlier this week, our decision to leave the European Union was no rejection of our friends in Europe, with whom we share common interests and values, and so much else. It was no attempt to become more distant from them, or to cease the cooperation that has helped to keep our continent secure and strong. And nor was it an attempt to undermine the European Union itself. It remains overwhelmingly and compellingly in Britain's national interest that the EU as an organisation should succeed. It was simply a vote to restore, as we see it, our parliamentary democracy and national self-determination. A vote to take control and make decisions for ourselves. And crucially, to become even more global and internationalist in action and in spirit too. Because that is who we are as a nation. Britain's history and culture is profoundly internationalist. We are a European country and proud of our shared European heritage. But we are also a country that has always looked beyond Europe into the wider world. That is why we are among the most racially diverse countries in Europe, one of the most multicultural members of the European Union, and why, whether we're talking about India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, countries in Africa, Asia, or those that are closer to home in Europe, so many of us have close friends and relatives from across the world. And it is why we are, by instinct, a great global trading nation that seeks to trade with countries not just in Europe, but beyond Europe too. So at the heart of the plan I set out earlier this week is a determination to pursue a bold and ambitious free trade agreement between the UK and the European Union. But more than that, we seek the freedom to strike new trade deals with old friends and new allies right around the world as well. I'm pleased that we've already started discussions on future trade ties with countries like Australia, New Zealand and India, while countries including China, Brazil and the Gulf states have already expressed their interest in striking trade deals with us.